Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I have a super exciting video for you. I'm trying out a ton of new products, but mostly focusing on this brand new palette by Lime Crime. It's the Venus XL palette, and if you're familiar with the brand or with their eyeshadow palettes, this is the original Venus palette, and this is what it looks like. So the original Venus palette obviously has 8 shades here, and they're kind of more like corally, warm tones. And then the new XL palette comes with 18 shades, and this is what it looks like. And it's obviously kind of following the same theme as the first one. It has a lot of corals and pinks, but also kind of staying neutral. And I created this eye look using it today. I'm not sure what day this video is going to go up, but this palette releases on February 19th. And throughout the video while I'm doing the tutorial and at the very end of the video, I gave you some of my thoughts on this palette. I also tried out this Clarisonic Foundation Brush to do my foundation today, which was kind of interesting. And I also used just a couple new products that I'd never used before. If you're interested in seeing that, just keep on watching the video. But before you do that, don't forget to subscribe down below. I've been putting out videos every single Wednesday, and they've usually been going up about 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then also, don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. It'll be linked down below, but my name is just TESSA everywhere. And yeah, with that being said, just keep on watching to see how I created this look. Okay, so I'm starting with my brows on, and then also I have my eyes primed with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Eden. And then I also set it with a little bit of translucent powder so it's not as tacky. And I think today I'm going to do kind of like a little halo eye situation because I just find that's my favorite thing to do. So that's what we're going to do today with this palette. I'm super excited. So I'm going to start going in with one of the lightest shades in this palette, the lightest matte shades in this palette. There's this one here called Blank Canvas, which is just like an off-white color. There's this one called Scallop. It's like a very light pink, and I'd say that's probably the most transition-y type color for my skin tone. So I'm going to go in with that and just put it all throughout my crease. And I'm using a Makeup Addiction Diffused Blender Brush. One thing that I noticed right off the bat with this palette is there's not a ton of lighter transition shades, especially if you're like super pale like I am. There's a good range of mattes, but there's not a lot of lighter toned mattes, if that makes sense. And I'm just kind of being messy with this color, putting it all throughout my crease and blending it pretty far up. Now I'm going to take the shade Flora, which is this brighter coral shade right here. And I'm going to use a Makeup Shack T73 brush. It's a little bit more dense, so we can get a little bit more deep into the crease. And I'm just going to put that throughout my entire crease as well, and I'll probably drag it a little bit in the inner and outer corners of my eye since this is going to be a halo eye. And I'm also going to take a little bit of that Flora color on the first blending brush that I used, and just to blend out the edges to make it a little bit brighter. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller brush. This is the Tapered Crease Brush from Makeup Addiction. It's just a dense little crease brush. And I'm going to mix the colors Aphrodite and Triumph right here. And I'm just going to use this to deepen up the very outer and inner parts of my eye. And then I'm also going to bring this up into the crease and just focus it a little bit deeper into my crease and not blow it out as much as the other colors. I think I've mentioned this before, but I kind of have small hooded lids, especially this eye over here. But to get right into my crease, even though this brush is a bit big to go straight into my crease, I like to tip my head back a little bit. That way you can see exactly where you're placing the color. Okay, now I'm going to try and do something that I've never done before, so crossing my fingers that it actually works. But usually I cut my crease with concealer, obviously, but I've been using this Urban Decay Primer Potion, and this one is like a concealer-ish color. So I thought maybe I should cut my crease with that because it leaves a really tacky base, so I thought maybe it'd be good to put shadows on top of it. So I'm going to try and cut my crease with this Urban Decay Primer Potion today. And like usual, I'm going to be using one of these little art detail brushes. Again, I'll link them down in the description where I got them on Amazon. I feel like I've linked them in every single video so far, but they're just my favorite to cut creases with. Alright, so I have my brush coated with the primer potion, and I'm just going to start in the middle here where I want the highest part of the cut to be. And something that I like to do when cutting my crease is go a little bit above your crease. That way when you open your eye you can see it a little bit. And then you just also have more space for colors and shadows. And then today, even though I'm doing a halo eye, usually I would just bring it down the center, but I'm actually going to bring the cut all the way out on each side, and I'm going to place different color shadows on each side just because this palette has a ton of colors and I want to use as many as I can. So I'm just bringing that primer potion pretty much to my very inner and outer corners, but if you can see, I'm kind of blending it into the color that we already have there, just so there's no harsh lines at all. And I'm also going to do in the outer corner. So I'm kind of just dragging my brush, and it'll do most of blending itself, but if I need to blend it a little bit more, I'll just pat it out with my finger. And to get a little bit more coverage, I'm just putting a little bit more primer potion on top. I'm just going to tap it out with my finger. So now for the rest of the look, I'm probably going to be using some pretty tiny brushes just because I want to fit a lot of colors in this area, and that way they don't just get all blown out into each other. So first I'm going to go in with the Makeup Shack T14 brush. I have no idea how to say this name right here, but it's Botticelli, possibly, maybe. But I'm going to go in with this color here, and I'm going to use this color to really add some depth to the very inner and outer parts of the eye. Okay, filming malfunction happened. I'm so upset right now. Pretty much I forgot to press the record button and I missed the majority of what I did on my lid here. So I'm going to attempt to do it on this eye on camera. This eye is a little bit harder for me to do, so I just take longer doing it. And I'm just not used to like explaining how to do things on this eye. So we're going to give it a shot. This is what we're going for. Okay, now we're back to where we left off, and I'm going to go in with the color Passion right here, which is just a little bit more of a brighter pink color. And first, I'm going to be patting it down because since that base is super tacky and sticky, if we start swiping it back and forth, it'll just become super patchy. So first I'm going to set the color down, and then once there's powder down, I'll start blending them together. Next, I'm going to be going in with one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's this color right here called Inspire. And it honestly doesn't look that cool in the pan, at least it doesn't to me, but when I swatch it on my hand, this is kind of what it looks like here. It just comes off a lot more vibrant and bright than I would think it does, and it actually has some like glitteriness to it, which looks really good, I think. So I'm going to take it on this BH Cosmetics number 9 brush. This is from the Rose Quartz set. And for this one, I'm not going to take any Fix Plus or anything since we have this sticky base down. And I'm just going to pat it all over the area where we don't have any color yet. And I'm just making sure to keep these colors that we're putting down now all in the area that we cut out with the primer. Okay, next I went in with this color Ethereal right here, which is kind of a duochrome, so it looks cool over top of the other colors. And I am going to spray this one with Fix Plus just because it's going to be applied over powder, so I think it's going to need something to help amp it up. And I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T13 brush, and I'm going to place that directly down the center of my eyelid all the way up to the top of the part where we cut it. Alright, and then I added one of the Lime Crime Diamond Dews right in the center over top there. I used to use like a tiny bit just to add a little bit extra sparkle, and this one is in the color Pixie. And I just take it straight from the applicator and just swipe it down the middle. And then I may take my finger to blend out each of the edges. I'm just going to finish off my entire upper lash line for now, and then go back to my face and then go back to my lower lash line. I know I always kind of do it in like a weird different way. That's just how I do it. So yeah, I'm going to add this to my upper lashes, and I'm going to apply the Eylure and Vegas Nay Platinum Princess lashes. This is what they look like. This is one of my favorite lashes ever. They do look big on my eyes, but almost all lashes look big on my eyes, but these are ones that I really like to wear out and about. Alright, now that my lashes are on, I'm going to start with my face. And I'm going to use the primer that I literally use every single day. It's the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. It's literally the only primer I ever use. This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream Foundation, and this is in the color Fair. The reason I like this is it just looks really nice on my skin, and it's literally the only foundation that I own that matches me the best. So I'm gonna be using that. And then also, I think I'm gonna use this today. This is something that I got from Octoly. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before, but basically they send you things to review. So I'm gonna be using this and telling you if I like it or not. They sent me this Clarisonic and they sent me the face brushes too, which I already know that I love because I have already been using one. But there's this foundation brush, which I thought was super cool, and I haven't used it yet, but I've turned it on. Listen. And you obviously can't see the brushes moving, but when you turn this puppy on, it's like serious vibrations, okay? It's like so intense, and I really feel like it could blend out your foundation, which without it being streaky, because it just moves the brushes so crazy. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So I don't know the best way to do this, so I'm pretty much just gonna put some of this on the back of my hand and spot it around my face and then blend it out with the brush. Only thing I'm worried about with this thing is that it's obviously kind of big and hard to control, so with me always doing my eyes first, I'm a little worried it might mess up my brows or maybe my eyeshadow. We might have to go in with like a sponge or something. So I have it all on my face. I'm so excited to try this. I'm just gonna start going in circular motions, I guess. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, I might have used too much product. This like doesn't soak up any product. I might have to go in with a sponge to get rid of some of the product. Wow. I'm definitely not gonna have enough room for this to fit right here in between my eyebrow and my hairline, so I'm gonna have to go in with a sponge to do that area. I'm barely putting any pressure because I just feel like with how vibraty it is, you shouldn't put pressure. I don't know. I don't like how my chin looks, though. I'm gonna say that. It's definitely just wiping away the product on my chin, so I don't love that. And also right here, it's kind of like my more textured areas. It seems to just be rubbing the product away. Yeah, I definitely don't like how it looks over. I get a lot of breakouts in this area here, as you can see. And then my chin and my upper lip is pretty just like textured, and I really don't like how those places look, but the smoother parts right here, it looks really good. So I'm just gonna finish my foundation with my sponge to go over the areas that I don't like how it looks. And then get into like the smaller areas like right here. But just a first impression, obviously, because this is the first time I've used it. But I think if you have very smooth, like perfect skin, this would probably be really nice for you. But if you have like acne or texture or even dry patches, I don't think that it would go well over dry patches. And for concealer today, I'm gonna go in with the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have the shade Vanilla. I'm gonna put this under my eyes, obviously. And I'm also gonna put it kind of in my T-zone where I tend to need a little bit more coverage. And I know I'm super predictable at this point. I'm gonna go in with Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the color Fair to set under my eyes. Okay, I'm sorry I'm using a ton of face products that I've already used on my channel. I just wanna use all my favorites since I'm gonna be wearing this today. But the bronzer I'm gonna be going in with is the Cover FX Suntan bronzer. And to apply, I'm going to use this Makeup Shack T21 brush. I just really like this bronzer because I can use it kind of as a bronzer and contour in one. It's just like the perfect color. And it blends out really easily. Okay, and since the eyes are pretty pink, obviously I thought I would go in with a pink blush. This is the Radiant Blush Kit by Anastasia. And I'm going to just mix these two colors here. This is Spoiled and this one is Breeze. And these blushes are super pigmented, so I'm just taking like the tiniest amount and tapping it off a lot. And then I'm really excited to highlight today because I got these in the mail from MAC. This is the Hyper Real Glow palette. They have two different colors. This one is the more pink toned one, and this is what it looks like. And then there's also this more gold warm toned one, and this is what this one looks like. I unfortunately can't tell you the names of these because they don't have it written on the packaging. I threw away the outer packaging and that's where it had it. So if you want to know the name of this one, I will have it down in the description below. I don't know what day this video is going to be posted, but these release on February 15th. I'm going to use the Makeup Shack T38 brush. And I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna mix the first two colors here. These are really nice because they're really glowy without being glittery at all. They just have that nice sheen. And while we're using that, I'm just going to mix those same two colors and I'm going to highlight my inner corner. Alright, now that the face is pretty much done, I'm going to go back onto the lower lash line here. I'm going to line my waterline with this Thrive Cosmetics Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner. Alright, so I think I'm just going to make the lower lash line pretty smoky because that's just my favorite way to do lower lash lines. I'm first going to go in with a mixture of Passion and Flora here. And I'm going to take that on a Zoeva 227 brush. And I'm just going to connect that to the shadows that we have on the upper lash line there and just smoke it along the entire lower lash line. Then I'm going to use the color Botticelli. I don't know how to say this still, but I'm going to use this really tight up next to my lower lash line to smoke it out. And I'm going to use a Makeup Shack T14 to do that. Alright, and then finally we just have the lips, which is another product I am so excited about. It's a new liquid lipstick by Melt Cosmetics, and it's actually named after one of my friends who I met on Instagram. Her name is Sidni. I'll link her Instagram down below. She's just super cool, and she actually started working for Melt Cosmetics, and they made this liquid lipstick off of her like natural lip color, and I think it'll look really good with this eye look because it is like a pinky color. And then if you buy it in the set, it comes with this lip liner, which is called Jinx. So I'm going to line my lips with this first. Alright, now I'm going to add the liquid lipstick in the color Sidni on top. And look at this applicator. It's like, I've never seen an applicator look like this before. And I have put this on once, and it's super easy to apply just because how pointy the applicator is. Alright, and this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and maybe found some new products that you want to get, or maybe you decided that you don't want to get them. I don't know. I think this palette was super fun to play with. There's a ton of colors to choose from, and I think this is a palette that you could create a ton of different looks with. So if you'd like me to create more looks using this palette, just let me know because I do have some more ideas in my head using it. Something that I do want to mention about the palette that is super cool is, I don't know if you can tell, but I haven't blown off any of the shadows in this palette, and there's absolutely no kickback at all, and they just apply and blend together so easily. So I think if you're struggling with blending or just have a hard time finding shadows that work well for you, I definitely think this formula is a good one to try. And I just think this is a really cool palette because you can create kind of more neutral looks with it, but at the same time you can create really bright colors like this, and there's some more neutral brown colors and then the pops of color. So I think this palette would be a good one to add to your collection if you're looking to add a new palette. As always, if you have anything specifically that you would like me to make a YouTube video on, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I'm putting out videos every single Wednesday about 6 p.m. Eastern time. I've actually gotten on an actual schedule now, which I think is pretty cool, so hoping I can stay consistent with that. As always, my Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter will be all linked down below, and it's all at TESSA if you want to follow me there. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!